everyone, this is Rima again from the Guiding Star. I'm going to see if my Wi-Fi supports the video call now. We're talking about, well, Happy Diwali, first of all. Happy Diwali. I do want to talk about Lakshmi Ma and some things. But today I want to talk about busting the myths of Rahu, Ketu and all the crap that astrologers have sold you on with the fears that they have instilled in you with Rahu, Ketu, and a lot of nonsense. It's a great selling point in today's world. For many astrologers, it's a great copy-paste. It's a topic that gets attention, and I have heard so many astrologers that have huge following, big names. I will tell you that until today, I haven't heard what I'm going to tell you about Rahu, Ketu in a video coming up very soon. What I do want you to know is Rahu, Ketu they're not planets. Rahu, Ketu are not. I'm going to want you or ask you to erase everything that you learned about Rahu, Ketu if you follow astrology, North Node and South Node in other words, what they are, what it is, what is their function in our lives in terms of astrology. So we're going to make a video on that. We're going to talk about that. But they're not planets. They're not to be feared. We've got to understand on a logical, practical way what that means. The astrology is a science. It can be very logical and practical if you understand it correctly. Okay, so that's one. Number two, I wanted to talk something very important, very, very important, because I see this day in and out, and it is adding to your bank of negative karma. It's adding to your debt. It's really adding to your pap and punya, the pap part, like if you understand the pap and punya, and I don't mean pap and punya with the intensity and the word that we are taught in religion, but really the understanding of negative versus positive karmas that we do, the deeds that we do, and deeds begin with our intention. They begin in our mind. It's not what I do, but it's the intention behind it, the first thought that came to do something that is either good or bad with intention, right? So that's where our deed begins, and that's where our karmas begin. So, but there are people who do this the people, when they call me, they do this on a regular basis, regularly, and I want you to know that it's really hurting you. This is really hurting you without you even realizing it. So, you know how when we go to people, like so many people will call me, friends and family, just so many, every week. People will call me, they want to get guidance, they want to get solutions and answers, whether it's with my knowledge of psychology or with astrology or just spirituality, right? Like they come to me for that reason because they know from experience what I've shared is working for them. They know, they see me as somebody who has the knowledge to be able to support them, expertise, whatever you call it. And then when we go to people, right, if you're coming to me or anybody else for anything, whether that's healing, or I'm sorry, there's some noise in the background, whether that's healing or that's getting some kind of guidance and support. If you're calling a one-off, like a one-time, something very basic to get some basic guidance, and that person is okay to give you that time and help and support, that's great. That's okay. But when you call somebody, like some people call me regularly, every few days, every few weeks, every few months, tell me about my astrology, tell me about my chart, tell me about this, what should I do? There's a difference between you sharing a problem with a friend and they're hearing you out and being there for you occasionally, and you going to somebody for help, for advice. Okay, that's two different things. That's what I want you to differentiate, number one, over here. Number two, as you go to them, even for healing, even if they may be your closest friend or family member, if you're going to them regularly, and if you're going to them to get any kind of healing, even if it's just one time, this is the rule of the universe. It's not something that I am saying that you have to do to me or give to me. Anybody you go to who has given you pranic healing, Reiki, the clearings that I do, chakra clearing, crystal, whatever you go to, for whatever your concern or problem was, and you believe in it, whether you have seen the result positive or not, but if you've gone to them and they've given you healing, never take it for free. Ever. Never, ever. You always carve that on your soul. If you don't want negative debt, negative karma in your account, you always want to give back. Whether you give some amount of money, it could be something very little. If they are wanting to give it to you for free, if they've not asked for anything, if they're a good friend of yours, whatever that may be, Even if they're saying you don't have to, or if it's donation based, always give donation. Either give them donation, give them something in return, ask them if, sometimes my clients, like if I'm giving something donation based, and they ask, like I told them once, why don't you just donate this to somebody else, like for somebody else. I told them, right, on my behalf, I would give this donation. So rather than that, you just, instead of paying me, you give the donation to such and such person. So that's okay, right? But you have to give back, whether you support them in some way, whether you give them money. Never take healing for free. It's always going to bite you back in this life, next life, at a circumstance, at a time when you don't want that to happen to you. Because healing, number one, healing requires a lot of energy. Number one, a lot of energy, a lot of inner, if they're really, truly a very deep, good healer, they've reached that stage with something, right? They're giving you a service. They're giving you something. So imagine, like, there's anything, even if you go to buy a candy for 50 cents, you're having to pay money for it. You're paying for that service or product. Same rule applies. In fact, Reiki, they're healing your life. They're healing you, helping you come out of an illness or a major, problem in your life. That's huge. You want to never take it for free. Number two, I always want you to live your life. A smart person. How does a smart person live their life? A smart person, let's say somebody like, who's very rich, Steve Jobs or whoever you follow. There are people who tell me, I want to make so-and-so amount of money in my life, some 5 crores, 400 crores, and that's the goal of my life. And I know many such people, and that's what they're stuck. They're just stuck there, and I feel bad for that because their consciousness is so stuck to be wound in this karmas, of your painful world, that you want to continue to suffer. You just don't want to come out of it. It's not even your goal to want to come out of it. A smart person lives their life where, how an intelligent person who lives their life thinking of, I don't want to have debt, financial debt. I want to be able to live a smart life, have enough money, have enough savings, not pass on debt to my children. A smarter or wiser person, I would say, who's smart and wise, will want to live a life where their karmic balance is in the plus. They always keep that balance in the plus. They'd never want to live a life where they're going to bring their karmic debt, their karmic balance of life, in the negative. The amount of energy and time that you put in wanting to live your life with luxury and not having debt, change that attitude. Shift it to a longer term perspective. A short term perspective is this life. This life is a short term perspective. In this life, I will make 400 crores. In this life, I will reach this amount of status in my career. That's a very, very limited short term approach. Very limited. A longer term approach is, even if my outside hardware, my body, goes away, everything that my soul has accumulated, and that's where the video of Rahu Ketu will help you a lot. I'm going to give you information I guarantee you have not heard it before. I can guarantee you that, because I follow so many astrologers on YouTube. I talk to so many of them. I have never heard it, and I will bet you that the information I give you is 100% right. It's going to make sense to you. It's connected to what I'm talking right now. So you want to bank as much positive karmas, positive bank balance in your karmic account as you can, so that when your soul goes to a different hardware, a different body, it has that balance to buffer and to continue moving in the positive. That's a smart person. So if you want to have that positive balance, never take Reiki or any healing for free, number one. Even if you give a little bit, give. Even if the person is not asking for it, always give. Second, when you keep coming to me for advice, or anybody else that you go to for advice and support regularly, it's interesting, the people who will come to me and want that work for free, in the name of the friendship, not even ask or want to offer anything. And that's okay from my end, because I have abundance in my life. But they're the people who have some of the most amount of money, right? And they're the people who will spend a lot of money to get what they want from, and they think like, oh, yahan se free mein mil raha hai, right? Free advice, let's get it. And it changes their life. And so they keep coming. And when you do this to anyone, and you do not give anything in return, it is 100% going to come back and bite you back in your life. It will, because what you're doing is you're taking somebody else's time, You're taking somebody else's advice and support. That's shifting your life in a huge way, and you're not being grateful about it. Even if you may be grateful in your heart, you want to always balance that. Whatever you take, our whole life is about give and take. Whatever you take, you want to be able to balance by giving back. You never want to have that mentality, even subconsciously, you just take. And the better it is if you are able to give back to the same person from which you took. Especially give it at a time when you're in a positive side of your life, where you have the ability to give easily. Because if you don't, for every day that you don't give back for anything that you've taken from anybody else, you're banking an interest. And I'm not joking. This is a universal law. The universe keeps tabs of everything. There's no escape and there's no shortcuts. Every day that you have come, that I may have gone to somebody several times and not given them any, the least is intention, right? With your intention, you're grateful. That's the least that you should do. That automatically drops your karmic balance. Then the second is attempt to give, right? Now, if they refuse when you give, that's a different thing. But attempt to give something. The least, again, that you have nothing material to give blessings, give prayers, think well for them continuously, right? If you're not giving anything else. Better still is give something in return. You may be able to gift to their service, to their practices, share the word of their, work if you can. But I see people day in and out, my close friends and family, there are people who come who are very grateful, and I can only speak to myself, because I'm not speaking about what they're doing to me. I'm just talking about the general attitude. I can only speak from my experience. When people come, there are people who will be grateful and who will want to go over and beyond and at least even say good words, appreciative words. And there are people who will just message me every few months, tell me about this, tell me about what should I do, tell me about, and that's it. They just want that for free. And they're so well-to-do. And I feel bad because I am banking a lot of blessings by giving all the support that I can to you, right? And I'm okay, I'm not asking for anything. But you are banking negative debt by not doing anything in return. You don't want that in your life. It's one of the really strong karmic debts that you do not want in your life. The more help you take from people and you don't give back, and if you're doing it with one person, I bet you're doing it with many others. That's the attitude of your life. It's either conscious or subconscious, but if you're doing it with me, you're doing it with many others in many different ways. It includes the service that we take from, our parents sometimes, or from our children. The things that people do for us, everybody's playing a role in your life. Nobody is attached to you. You are one soul. So anybody, if my father went out of his way to provide me great education in his years, although he brought me, right? Like my parents brought me to the world. Let's say a planned baby. If it was a planned baby, they brought us to this world. It's their duty to do for us, but still, the pain that they went through to go over and beyond to give us more than they could have, right? We are taking something from them. And in this life, they may be my parents, but technically they're not related to me in any way. I am one soul, they are another soul. It is my duty, if I don't give back in this life in any way, whether you do seva, when they're not feeling well, you go out of your way to show care and return. You give them money, you support your parents, when they are older, whatever that may be the case. Your siblings, same for each and every person in your life, your children. If you don't give back, at least in a thank you, in blessings, in gratitude, that's the very least, and then doing more in return for them, you are banking that karmic debt. And that's the debt that if you don't pay it, the interest keeps rising, and then you have to pay at a time when you're not in a position to be able to pay. That is why we come across situations when you hear of people who have to take care of people who are terminally ill, who have very ill family members in your family. You have to give back some debt. There's some karmic debt there that you're giving back. And there's so many examples that we have to give back, right? I'm sure I've done stuff like that when I was not aware, when I did not know the truth about all of this. I must have done that too. So ask for forgiveness in your heart from the whole universe every day morning. Simple thing, just ask at least for forgiveness and say, I'm sorry to all organisms, all living souls in this world for anything wrong that I may have done intentionally or unintentionally. It takes 1 or 2 seconds to ask, but that intention goes a long way in debt forgiveness. We talk about debt forgiveness, right? A lot. For money. Do it for your karmas. It's going to shift your life in a huge way. So I've seen this lately a lot, and that's why I wanted to share it, because that's one. The second is the people, my friends, family who come to me, the people who don't want to find solutions in their lives, right? Or who are very unaware, not conscious souls. Even though they may say, I do all this meditation and I do this and that, they will come and ask me, tell me about this time period. What am I supposed to do? Tell me about Shani Dasha, Sarasati, Ketu Dasha, my Rahu Dasha. What should I do? And I'm not talking about a particular person, because many people come to me. They do, and they ask regularly. Friends, very close friends and family. And I will continue to tell them, you're asking the wrong question. If you're going to an astrologer and asking them, what should I do in this, what is going to happen in this time period, you're living from a very low consciousness. You're asking, tell me about a time. Tell me, you're wanting to first of all hear something good. You want hope. You don't want to hear the truth. That's number one. Because when you ask me what will happen in this time period, you want to hear something good. Most of the time, right? That's number one. Secondly, you're not asking me, it's not a solution-based approach. So you're not asking me, what is the problem, or what could be the problem, and what can I do about it? You're asking me, tell me what's going to happen. You're not wanting to find a solution to your problem, or you're not wanting to meet the problem head on. You're not wanting to face your issues. You're wanting to escape. And over again, these are the people who will come to me every few months or every few weeks, and they'll ask me the same question again. Same question. Now what? They want to hear if anything's changed, if anything's positive. But the person who really wants to find solutions in their life, astrology also there's no magic, there's no escape, there are no shortcuts in life. The best remedies and the truest remedies of astrology come from changing yourself. They come from changing within. They don't come from doing havans and wearing gemstones. Those are very, very, very surface level, very temporary relief measures, like what do you call it, antibiotic, right? For the sake of it suppressing the problem temporarily. That's all it is. But if you really want to become pain-free, you're coming to me because there's internal pain, unhappiness. If you want to shift that, really, the question you want to ask me or any astrologer is, what should I do? Or what should I do differently to become better or rise above these challenges or to overcome them? That is a wise soul. Live a wise life. Make your solutions shorter. Like, reach them faster than you need to. The way to reach them faster is not to try to escape them and try to find, like, when will the good times come? But rather say, oh, how can I just meet this head on and overcome it once and for all? And never have to come back to you again and ask you the question about, now what? Is it any different? Right? So I don't think many people will understand it. I don't think some people, even though I may be telling them over and over again, they don't get it. They'll still come to me and they'll tell me, oh, just tell me something good. Like, now what will happen in my life in these years? Will I earn a lot of money? Those are their questions. Will I earn a lot of money? Will I earn a lot of fame? Will I this and that? And with all the money and the fame that you get, you're going to get more enemies. You're going to get more enemies, more people jealous. You're getting deeper into your karmic debt, or living in this maya, right? In this illusion of the pain and the suffering and the life and rebirth. So you're actually you're pulling yourself deeper into the well, rather than finding a way to get out of it. And you're coming to me because you're feeling unhappy. If you were already earning, then people who come to me, they're already earning a lot of money. They're not happy though. They're still coming to me. So, and I know still, this will only make sense to a few people. It will not make sense to many, but maybe it'll make sense to one person and it'll shift their lives. Maybe it'll plant a seed in somebody's soul to live their life differently, to focus on the whys of how do I reduce my karmic debt, not my financial debt, my karmic debt. How do I change that, to credit that, to have a positive balance? How do I go out of my way to help people, to give people back when they help me and when they support me? How do I even, give and do remedies like donation, like being there for someone, even though it's not even my bad times, even though I don't need it? When people come to me and they say, give me solutions, and they're ready to do dan because they're running through a bad time and they want a certain solution, the results you're going to reap is very partial because your intention is very partial. It's very selfish based. There's other things I want to talk about is, it's a sensitive topic, but it's related to this karmic debt. When you take things from others, it is quite a sensitive topic. So I will talk about it, not today. This video has been pretty long. But those two things, talking about Rahu, Ketu, and taking things from others. And maybe Diwali is the right time to talk about this because Sri Ram was so selfless. He was such a selfless spirit. So amazing, in the way he followed his duty for his family selflessly and admitted the fault he did, went into Vanvas for 14 years without fighting it, cribbing about it, none of that, right? Fulfilled his duty and came back victorious. So maybe that's why this is the right time to make this video. This is Reema Desai from The Guiding Star. Thank you so much for watching. And I want you to know that despite me saying, saying this, everybody who comes to me, when you reach out for support, you're very welcome. You're very, very welcome to continue to write to me, message me, call me. Now I have a link that people can sign up for 100% free informal counseling of anybody, anywhere in the world. You can share that link with anybody. It's 100% free informal counseling or consultation or support. You can sign up with that and I will call you exactly at that time. Zero expectations, donation based if you want to. If you don't want to, that's fine. But I am here. I've opened a group for women, 100% free support. If you'd like to be part of that group on WhatsApp, join in. There's a lot of support that I'm giving to that group. You're very welcome to join that and share that with others. I love giving back, and I love supporting, and I love when you all listen to me and come to me. It fulfills me to be able to support other people. Thank you for listening. Bye-bye. Happy Diwali.